You wake up. You already feel behind. Coffee first, phone second. Sunlight. Never. You tell yourself it's fine. You'll walk later. You'll get some air eventually. Except you won't, because by 9 a.m., you're already inside, under fluorescent light, running on caffeine and willpower. Here's the thing nobody tells you. That single choice in the first hour of your day is quietly deciding how well every organ in your body functions for the next 16 hours. Not your diet, not your workout, not your supplements, your light exposure. I know, that sounds strange. You've been told health is complicated. Macros, fasting windows, supplement stacks. And somewhere in all that noise, the single most powerful lever got buried because it's free, and free things don't sell courses. This was never your fault. Nobody explained the biology, so you kept optimizing the wrong variable. Stay with me, because this changes everything. Inside your body, there's a master clock. Scientists call it the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a tiny cluster of neurons sitting right behind your eyes. Think of it as the building manager of a massive skyscraper. Every floor, your liver, your gut, your heart, your skin, runs on its own schedule. But none of those floors know what time it is, unless the manager tells them. And the manager only gets its instructions from one source. Light hitting your retina first thing in the morning. Here's the critical thing to understand. This isn't some wellness trend. Nobel laureates Jeffrey Hall, Michael Rosbash, and Michael Young won the prize in medicine for mapping exactly this system, the molecular clockwork that runs inside every single cell in your body. Every cell, not just your brain, your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells, take their orders from this same clock. When the timing is right, they produce energy efficiently. When it's wrong, they leak, they stumble, they age faster. That's the blind spot. Not because you lack discipline, because your building manager never got the memo. Here's where it gets counterintuitive. Skipping morning light doesn't just cost you alertness. It delays a hormone shift that's supposed to happen hours later, one tied directly to repair, to inflammation control, to how your skin, your joints, your gut lining regenerate overnight, head to toe. Literally. And here's what most people completely miss: the damage isn't loud. It's silent. Compounding. Invisible for years, until one day your joints ache for no reason. Your skin looks tired no matter how much you sleep. Your digestion feels off, and every doctor says your labs look normal. They do look normal, because this isn't a deficiency you can measure in blood. It's a timing problem. And there's one molecule sitting quietly in your bloodstream every single morning, actively working against you the moment you skip this habit. What happened next surprised researchers. That molecule is cortisol. Not the villain you think it is. Cortisol isn't the enemy, mistimed cortisol is. Here's what changes everything. Your cortisol is supposed to spike hard, early, right after sunrise. That spike is what tells your master clock, the day has started, synchronize everything now. Digestion, detox pathways, immune patrol, all of it waits for that signal. Skip the light, and cortisol drifts. It rises late, weak, and disorganized. Your body still gets the signal, just hours behind schedule, like a factory floor where every department is running on different clocks. Nothing stops, but nothing lines up either. And this is where it gets dark. Chronically mistimed cortisol quietly suppresses something called autophagy, your body's overnight cleanup crew. Discovered by Nobel laureate Yoshinori Ohsumi, autophagy is how your cells clear out damaged proteins and worn-out parts. Clean first, rebuild second, repeat. Miss the window and the cleanup crew shows up late, or not at all. Here's the part nobody talks about. This is fixable in 1 week, not with pills, with sequencing. Morning, within 30 to 40 minutes of waking, get outside. No sunglasses. 2 to 10 minutes, even on a cloudy day. This is the single trigger that resets your master clock and locks your cortisol spike where it belongs. Midday, get natural light again, ideally during a short walk after lunch. This reinforces the rhythm and blunts the afternoon energy crash that sends most people toward sugar. Evening, dim your lights 2 hours before bed. Real, warm, low light. This is what tells your brain melatonin production can begin on schedule, protecting the repair window your cells depend on. Your body wasn't broken. It was protecting you, running its programming exactly as designed. It just needed the right signal at the right time. And that's where everything changes. Each piece stacks. Morning light strengthens midday energy. Midday light strengthens evening wind down. Evening dimness protects your overnight repair. One signal, compounding across every system, head to toe. You don't need 10 new habits. You need one, timed correctly. But there's a second clock hiding inside your gut, one most people have never even heard of. And what it's doing to your metabolism while you sleep is going to change how you think about dinner time completely. You wake up feeling fine. You eat dinner at a normal time. Nothing crazy, maybe 7, maybe 8, and still, you're not losing weight, still bloated, still tired by 3 p.m., even though you slept 8 hours. You've blamed your metabolism, your age, your genetics. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Your metabolism isn't broken, it's confused. Because it's not just your brain that runs on a clock. Your gut has its own. I know, that sounds strange. Stay with me, because this changes everything. Here's the critical thing to understand. Every organ in your body runs on what scientists call a peripheral clock, a local timekeeper separate from the master clock behind your eyes. Your gut's clock is one of the loudest, and it doesn't take orders from sunlight. It takes orders from food, specifically from when your last bite hits your stomach. Think of your gut like a night shift crew. Every night, after your last meal, that crew is supposed to clock in. They repair the intestinal lining. They regulate which bacteria thrive and which get cleared out. They reset insulin sensitivity for the next morning. But here's where it gets counterintuitive. That crew can only start once your kitchen closes. Fully, completely. Eat late, even something small, and you've kept the kitchen open. The crew never clocks in. The repair shift gets skipped. Not because your body failed you, because it was still waiting for the close signal. Here's what most people completely miss. This isn't about calories at all. It's about circadian misalignment between when you eat and when your gut expects to eat. Researchers at the Salk Institute, the same lab that pioneered time-restricted eating research, found something that surprised even them. What happened next surprised researchers. 2 groups, identical calories, identical food. The only difference, the window of time in which it was eaten. One group's metabolic markers improved dramatically. The others barely moved at all. Same food, same amount, different outcome entirely. And that's where everything changes. The difference wasn't the food, it was cortisol's quieter cousin insulin and when it was allowed to work. Here's the part nobody talks about. Eating late doesn't just delay digestion. It keeps insulin elevated deep into the night, right when your body is supposed to shift into fat-burning repair mode. Instead, it stays locked in storage mode. All night. That's the villain. Not sugar, not carbs, timing. Your last meal is quietly telling your gut, keep working, while your brain is telling everything else, shut down, repair, restore. 2 conflicting signals running at the same time, all night long. That's the disconnect behind the bloating. The 3 p.m. crash, the stubborn weight that won't move no matter what you cut. This was never a discipline problem. It was a scheduling conflict, happening inside you every single night without your permission. Here's what changes everything. You don't need a rigid fasting protocol. You need one closing time. Morning, break your fast with protein first, not carbs. Eggs, Greek yogurt, something with real substance. This blunts the insulin spike and gives your gut clock a strong, stable day has started signal, separate from but reinforcing the light signal from yesterday. Midday. Eat your largest meal here, not at night. Your insulin sensitivity is highest in early to mid-afternoon. This is when your body handles carbohydrates most efficiently. The Salk research confirmed this window specifically. Evening. Finish eating at least 3 hours before bed, not because of calories. Because your gut's night shift crew needs a clean handoff. No overlap, no confusion about who's on duty. Your body wasn't sabotaging you. It was following two different schedules you never knew you'd given it. And that's the part that matters. None of these habits work in isolation. Morning light sets your master clock. Consistent meal timing sets your gut clock. And when both clocks agree, something remarkable happens. They start reinforcing each other. Better sleep leads to better meal timing. Better meal timing leads to deeper repair. Deeper repair leads to more stable energy, which makes the next morning's light exposure easier to keep. One signal strengthens the next, quietly, automatically, compounding. You don't need to overhaul your life. You need two clocks, talking to each other again. But there's a third clock, one that doesn't respond to light or to food, one that responds to something far stranger and far more overlooked. And what happens when that clock falls out of sync might explain why some people age twice as fast as others, even when everything else looks perfect on paper.